Hello again everybody, Dad the Gamer here, bringing you another episode of Fallout 76. In today's episode, our hero Bob is going to go visit the town of Flatwoods and he's going to join the ranks of the responders as a volunteer. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and now let's get right into it. Welcome back everyone. Do you notice anything different? Yes, Bob got a bow. I decided to give the bow a chance. We will need to use the bow, rather the crossbow, down the line when we want to get that backpack. Let's give the bow a chance. By the way, now we are visiting another player's camp, because it's always useful to go and check if by chance they are selling mutation serums for a cheap price. Players usually sell those mutations for a cheap price, right around 300 to 500 caps, depending on the day, I guess. But they usually go around that price. If you see mutations being sold for more than 500 caps, don't buy them. You'll find them cheaper. So far, the bow is an excellent weapon. But we only managed to fire one shot and kill Mr. Farmhand in one shot. Let's see how it goes though. We might just end up going back to the rifle, because the rifle is a more Bob type of weapon. Because the bow is more accurate in watts, which is pretty annoying. Never mind. That was a good source of meat. Alrighty, so forgot to mention Flatwoods. The town of Flatwoods is right down the road from the wayward. It's basically a couple of steps away. Not really, but it's really close. Take it easy. Take it easy, Mowat. I was toying around with the idea of actually going with a bow and arrow for a full playthrough, but I know that bows are really... they lack the damage they need in the early game. I mean, they do great damage, but they're not really... what is the word I'm looking for? They don't really offer anything apart from just simple arrows until you get to, I think, friendly level reputation with any of the two major factions, the Settlers or the Raiders. Once you hit that level, you're going to start to see their vendors selling different types of arrows, like fire arrow, poison arrow, I think, frost arrow, whatever. Until that point, it's just regular plain bow and arrow. It's not really fun to play. So my advice is that if you'd like to play with a bow and arrow, just level the perks up and keep them for end game. The gym we just entered is a good source of lead, but it's also one of the most farmed places in the game for lead. So there are usually some dumbbells here that you can find. And I don't know the exact amount of lead you get, but it's a good amount of lead. Like, let's 20 to 30 pounds of lead, I think. But as I said, it's probably the most visited place in the game for quick and easy lead farming. Means that somebody has already been here and has taken all the lead they can take, leaving nothing for us. That's fine, you can always hop servers and make sure that you get the chance to loot this place for yourself.
If the scorched or the ferals don't get you, that's what.
They sure are, buddy.
I pressed the button. Hush.
The thing with the responders is that once they
Hello?
started,
there?
or once they
I think it's working.
once the organization was formed, I think one of their leaders,
Willie Mae.
can't remember the name,
And I
was
was
to
asked to
ask
talk
any
today
one of the
about my
survivors
life
which were
since
present
the war.
around the time
Educate
to
future
create
children
a
someday.
story of their
I
own
think that's nice.
and make it sort of like a
I
archived,
thought I'd just watch my
sort of
program.
a, and create an archive of sorts for anyone that finds the tapes later on.
That didn't turn
They'll
out
know
to
what
be
happened
the
to each
case.
individual person.
I'm just glad they
We're
helped
listening
me
to Willie Mae right
most
now.
of the time, you see.
And, yeah,
When I thought in a dream,
I was gonna keep quiet
I knew
while these tapes
my
play,
prayers
but
were answered.
it's gonna be a silent video if I do that.
Used to work in the mines.
And I have been told that I need to speak more in these videos, so
News of tremors,
there it is.
and he didn't come home.
Hope anyone that suggested me speaking more enjoys.
What happened to him or why he never
And if they're
came
not
home,
subscribed,
sure.
now they should subscribe,
You,
right?
eh?
Ah, see what I did there? Great thinking on my part.
Or I've just read my old newspapers.
Okay, so that while that was going on, I upgraded another rank on expert archer because since we're using the bow, we might as well upgrade the perks to their max potential at this time. But I really do think we're going to swap over to the rifle again pretty soon. Let's see how it goes. There is a couple of, not a couple, there are robots here around that we can test the bow, how it works on them. There's actually a pretty cool event right around the corner of this town. Let's just see how the bow fares against those robots, and we'll make a decision then. It really is a more of a high-end weapon. You get pretty much bored with the bow in early game. There really isn't that much to it. Even the upgraded version, the compound bow, you only get access to that once you hit again. I think it was legendary, sorry, friendly level reputation with settlers or raiders. There's really no point in using the regular bow right now. There are legendary versions of the bow, but again, because you're pretty much stuck with just a single type of arrow, there's no really use on playing with the bow. Okay, so found the first tape from the overseer that she recorded when she visited Flatwoods. Now let's see where she went after this, right? Or what did she do? Looks like she met some scorched. While we listen to her, we're just going to register as a volunteer and get this show on the road.
Before they were wiped out, the survivors called themselves the Responders. Looks like they were made of firefighters, police, emergency medical staff. They even have an automated system to teach people about treating water.
That same automated system we're just using right now to locate the person called Kesha McDermott. We'll find her
I know it's even worse than we imagined, but
on the river bank.
someone's got to know where the
Yes, she had a misfortune while she was trying to collect some water for the team.
The Responders are the best lead we have. This is
There she is. Now we get to listen to her story.
Document our stories. For
Okay, so it was Dasa that asked everybody to
like a fine idea.
create their story in a holotape form.
I am Kesha McDermott. When the bombs fell, I was in Watoga.
If you care to listen to the tapes, you'll actually get a pretty good backstory of all the responders which were
And the theme was
first starting out.
future of energy.
Actually get to learn what they went through and
Everything
what actually
pretty chaotic.
made them what they were.
For food and
The hope that everyone needed back then.
survivors all
Attention, citizens. Nuclear strike.
The holotape was disrupted by a...
Exit the area at your earliest
what is it called?
convenience.
A nuke drop.
Thank you for your cooperation.
We're not going to visit the nuke drop right now. But hopefully, once we get a few more levels, we'll join those events. This is the place where actually the event I was mentioning happens. Basically, robots go haywire and they start attacking everybody. And you have to go in, kill those supervisor robots, and reset their targeting system.
Overseers,
Of course, there are ghouls here as well, but they're on the lower level.
not an
We're just not going to bother right now, since the event is not active.
The agricultural center.
Picking up this holotape though, started a separate side quest for the Overseer. Basically, if we follow through with it, we'll get to learn what actually happened to the Overseer once they left the vault, and the difficult choice they had to make at the end, rather didn't make. Okay, so right now we're going to go and collect a water sample from one of the water pumps in Flatwoods. There are no seriously dangerous enemies here, just a couple of feral ghouls here and there. Nothing Bob can take care of. So I guess the main purpose of this area in the game is to... what? Okay. So, yeah. The main purpose of this area is to basically teach the players how to survive. Teaching the players how to survive, but in the actual game lore or story, it was supposed to teach how the people should survive in a post-apocalyptic world. Because that was the whole point behind forming the responders. Making sure people know how to survive. And making sure people are self-sufficient enough so that don't die out from hunger and thirst. I gotta admit, I kinda like the responders. They were there for the people, and they made sure the people were safe, or at least cared for. Later on in the game, we'll get to do a much more in-depth get-to-know of the responders. Well, I hope it's a get-to-know of the responders. I haven't actually played that part of the game yet. Basically took a pretty much a year-long hiatus from this game because I did everything I could, and that was before they started releasing new content for it. Right now I'm excited to get to that part and see what I was missing, basically. Yes, we'll go on that journey together, right? So you'll see that someone has been here and cleared out everything, and that was a nuke that we just heard in the background. We'll speak about nukes more when it comes time to speak about nukes. I don't really go into too much detail right now. But yeah. Interesting thing about this particular location, this Red Rocket Station, or whatever it's called, is that on the map there are, I don't know how many Red Rocket Stations available to the players. Each of those contains at least one type of workbench and a stash where you can transfer all your belongings. So let's just quickly do that while we can. We have a few items to scrap and then we can transfer everything to our stash so we don't get weighed down by our junk items. The holotape that's playing right now is part of a series, and I think if you find both of those, I think there are two, and several more holotapes, you get a achievement in the game. I've never really done that, so yeah, I don't really know where to look for those. But since we found a survival tent from a random player which has the weapons workbench in it, we're going to use this opportunity to upgrade our legendary hunting rifle. Be right back. Okay, so doing that cut off the holotape drama thingy, and we didn't really manage to upgrade everything that we can on the rifle because we are missing a few components, but we'll find those and get back to upgrading it soon enough. As I said, it's not really worth playing with the bow and arrow in the early stages of the game. It gets boring pretty much after a few shots. Unless you're really role-playing and are really into a bow and arrow playthrough, you get pretty much bored instantly. I think we can buy the missing parts we need, missing components we need from the vendor in the church. There's that. We'll check if they have it, and we go back to upgrading our weapon to its fullest potential right now. Right now it's doing a little less damage than a regular hunting rifle, but then again, this is a legendary rifle which has the... what was it? The anti-armor effect. Yeah. For now, let's just go and complete the quest, and we'll see what's next on the agenda. There's already someone here using the terminal, but luckily we can use it at the same time, because logic, right? Okay, so looks like everything they did was contaminated. Everything they found, sorry. Now, for the learning part of the tutorial, rather the training from the responders, they tell you that you need to boil the water before you drink it. If you remember, one of the robots in the vault actually said, when in doubt, boil it out. I guess they must have undergone the responders tutorial. I keep calling it tutorial. Responders training as well. We do have some food we can cook as well, so let's do that now. Okay, I thought it was a small amount of food that we need to cook, but I guess we haven't cooked in a while, so that was a lot of meat we just prepared.
This whole thing was staged. Our lives, our thoughts, everything was designed for us, just like this conversation. Every word I'm saying. Planned. Time to wake up, Appalachia. Find the ones holding the strings and cut.
Looks like Scott Shepard has been annoyed for quite some time. Now we've completed the first part of the training. The second part of the training is learning to cook food. We need to find the Reverend Delbert Winters. Delbert's house is actually right up the road here. He used to live in a trailer sort of thing, and that's where we find his body, if it managed to get past this gate, that is. It's weird how I get stuck in the most random places. See, look at this. Pathing, don't let me down. Yeah, I blame pathing, but it's me actually controlling the player. There's Delbert. So let's see what he has to say.
Reverend Delbert
Or
Winters
rather,
here, born
let's
and
not
raised
listen to
in
what he
this
has to
very
say and
town.
just check out his
Sent my own church
computer.
to the responders for their outpost
So
here.
apparently he has some entries on training, some
Responders are on a true mission, you see.
cookbook, or the recipes that he knows and prepares,
Till the heavens open up
the
again.
schedule for a potluck, which is basically every day,
When this all
and
happened,
then
I figured like most, it
he has
was
his
time.
diary. We're just going to skip past this and not bother reading anything. Now that that's out of the way, what we need to do now is cook a ribeye steak, as per Dilbert's instructions. And we do that by finding a piece of Brahmin meat. Funny thing, the Brahmins are actually a two-headed cow. I guess that's what you get when radiation floods everything. Hello, Brahmin. I need your meat. Please stand still. These Brahmins are a tough cookie. Okay, so now let's go cook this meat. I need to make sure I'm using the right rifle. Let me just make sure that that one's on favorites wheel. For some reason I took out the bow by mistake. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm still having doubts or second thoughts about using the bow. Once we get this done, we go into the volunteer check-in system.
Chloe's my pet.
And we basically complete the first part of the responder training. Before we move on, let's just see what this person has to say. She looks like she knows stuff, right?
Are you here for the responder training?
Doesn't look like training saved any of them.
That's a really insensitive thing to say. Those people risk their lives every day to help people survive. I think they were incredibly noble. And yes, as far as anyone knows, they were all killed when the Scorched attacked their base at Morgantown Airport. But that death wasn't a failure. It was a sacrifice, and a really heroic one if you ask me. They could have run, but they didn't. I guess you must not have been around when the responders were here, or you'd know all of this. Wait a minute. Are you one of those people who was in Vault 76?
Vault 76? Never heard of it.
Oh. Never mind then.
Jesus, she's gullible.
Maybe I'm not as good a judge of people as I thought.
Or you're just blind. Can't you see the peep bar on my hand? Can I ask you stuff
Go
or
right
something?
ahead.
Who are you?
Me? There's not much to tell, really. I came in with Paige and the rest and stayed up at Foundation for a while. It was nice. But eventually I wanted to go my own way, you know? Get out and see some places I've never seen, figure out who I am. When I heard the message on the radio about Flatwoods, I was curious to meet the responders, so I made my way here. I decided to stay here and see what else I could learn. That's pretty much my story.
What can you tell me about Foundation?
It's up in the Savage Divide, which is what they call the mountains to the east. There are maybe a dozen settlers up there, though people always come and go, so it changes. Honestly, life is pretty good there. It's a community and everybody does their part to help.
Tell me about Paige.
He's the closest Foundation has to a leader, I guess. I never got to know him real well, but he always seemed like a decent guy. Honest, reliable, cares about the people, that kind of stuff.
Wait, let me ask you something else.
Okay, what is it?
What's with the responder outfit?
I found it in one of the houses. It fits great, and it's really comfortable and pretty durable, too.
I'd also be lying if I said it didn't have some sentimental value for me. I've admired the responders ever since I first heard about them. What they stood for, helping people no matter what. That was really important.
Anything interesting happening around here?
Yeah, there's a couple of places around here that qualify as interesting. At least to me. The Agricultural Research Center is infested with feral ghouls and homicidal robots. But you can find some good scrap in there if you're up to it. The New River Gorge Resort to the east is the same story. Maybe, minus the robots.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I don't like you, lady. Let me hit you. Here,
Hi there.
take this. I guess I cannot hit you. Can I hit your dog? Dog! Oh, come on. I'm just kidding. I don't want to hit them really. I know that they can't be hurt. Especially not the dog. I mean, who cares about that lady? She's cuckoo. But the dog? I like the dog. Alright, now let's see what happened to the responders. Now that we have access to their database, let's see what messages they've left for us. So, emergency contact responders HQ. What does it say? It says that a large scourge horde is attacking their base, and they need help. Basically a call to arms for any and all available responders at that time. And with that, this is going to be it for the episode, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this type of content, and I'll see you next time.